Let me warn you, what you're about to learn is going to require you to change how you think. Your mindset will need to shift. It's sort of like what you saw in the Matrix, right? When Morpheus said, do you want the red pill or the blue pill? It was a choice. If you took the blue pill, you could go back to things just being exactly the same old way, nothing being different, nothing changing. Or you could take the red pill and discover new opportunities, see things in a different way. It's a choice. And that's where you're at today. You can take the blue pill and go back to life as it was and forget about everything you learned and say it's not relevant to you. Or you could take the red pill and say, you know what, things are changing. They're changing at a rapid pace. I got to be there. I got to be ready. I'm going to shift and I'm going to be positioned for what's coming. So why is all of this with your choice? Your mindset is so important. Well, let me tell you a story that Jim Tan shared. He is the top labor negotiator for the school systems in the California school district. He works with the school boards and the teachers unions. He has done a lot of work in the world of collaboration and negotiation. And this is what he shares with some research that was done at Purdue University. What they observed is actually there's a lot of behavior that is similar between chickens and human behavior in this way. When they took chickens and they had them all in a coop together, what they discovered was some chickens were aggressive. They peck at other chickens. And when they did, the egg production of those who were being pecked at decreased, whereas the production of the pecking chickens continued. So they said, okay, let's separate the chickens and see what happens. We'll put the aggressive chickens in one pen. We'll put the chickens who just want to go about doing their work, accomplish a result, in another pen. And here's what they discovered. The aggressive chickens that were all about themselves, they just cared about what was in front of them, producing their result today and getting credit for other people's production. They began to peck at each other, and very shortly the aggressive chickens had no feathers left and their production was down. They looked like the living dead. So when they put the healthy chickens, the chickens that wanted to do their production and just lay eggs, and put them together, their production actually increased by 600%. Think of that in your business. When we surround ourselves with other people who are interested in what it is that we're doing, want to produce the result that we're interested in this case, laying eggs, actually production increases. And there's some wonderful research that supports us in the business world. So as you look at these two groups of chickens, on the left you have the chickens that have no feathers left, and you have on the right, you have what we call the green zone chickens, the healthy chickens. What really is the difference? What do you see as the difference? What choices are being made that impact the difference here? Organizations are no different from what we see here. You can be competitive, eat each other up, peck at each other, compete in an aggressive way. That is the way we're taught often to do business in our country. And if you do, you can end up with these looking like these red zone chickens, barely alive. On the other hand, you can choose to operate your organization internally, externally, like the green zone chickens. They work together. They found a way to allow each other to produce and to grow and to be healthy. This is a choice we each need to make. But a shift from a totally competitive mindset to a more cooperative, collaborative mindset is a big mindset shift, especially for people operating in our Western hemisphere. We do have models from other countries, particularly Japan and Asia, where relationships are approached in a different way. We see an incredible impact of that different thinking in terms of Japan's ability to rise and become dominant in the auto industry and the electronics industry. And so we've adopted some of those concepts. We call them Kaizen, we call them Ikigai. There are other things that we've adopted, but it's a mindset shift. It's a shift that comes from deep within, where we value other people. We value the input of a larger group, we realized that by ourselves we're incomplete and we need something more, something bigger that we're a part of. Embrace and work together to accomplish a goal. Haven't you ever wondered why it is Japan that is number 3 in the world's economy, US being first, China being second, Japan third? It's ahead of Germany and the UK. Why is that? Well, I think part of it is because of how they approach business. So when I first came back to the States at 19, as I went through life, I went to a workshop at one time, and it was on how do you grow your wealth. It was a very interesting program that was offered. And in it, there was a game that you had to play. It was called the money toss game. I could never win that game. To this day, I cannot win the game, even though I know how to win it, because it is so competitive, so ruthless, and so without relationship. In Japan, when you're trying to collaborate and grow with each other, your relationships matter. You don't destroy them for a short-term gain. You're looking to the long term, the 200-year plan, for example. And so your perspective is different. And there's a shift that we need to make. China's dominance is partly also because of this 200-year plan. And they look at relationships maybe in a different way, not in a similar way to Japan, but still it's a culture in which things are built on relationships. It is what creates a healthy organization, a healthy system. It's a choice that we make. It's a way of working. And it's something that we need to think about if we're going to collaborate, if we're going to make collaboration truly work. We just came through a very uncertain time. COVID was one of those periods where everybody globally experienced similar uncertainty. We couldn't find toilet paper. We wondered what was going to happen to family. We saw people getting sick that we knew, and many of them went on and did die. Others got better. We didn't know what would happen to travel. We feared taking airplanes, right? Because of what was going to happen to the air. What were we being exposed to? Work changed. We started working from home, and we developed new ways of working because of that. There was a new normal that began to emerge, and we began to wonder, what is the real normal? Fear was sort of a dominant piece. It was underlying everything. What was going to happen? It was fear of the uncertainty, fear of the unknown future, fear of something we didn't control, fear of would we ever be able to be in control again. So during COVID, I began taking my time to research what would happen. How would COVID impact us and our businesses? How would things change? So I began calling CEOs, CFOs of very large organizations, Fortune 500, Fortune 100, consultants to their boards of directors, M&A people, and I began asking the question, how will COVID change business? And they said to me, it's not COVID that's going to change us. It will really be the economic aftermath that will follow. When I spoke with M&A people and asked them the question, so if that is true, who will survive? The response I received was, the companies that can learn to collaborate will be the ones who will do well. It will take a different way of doing business. So I began to think about that. Do we have models for collaboration, for actually working together, building one another? Do we have models for that? And as I started thinking about it, I said, of course we do. Post-war Japan was an incredible model. How do you work together to grow an economy, to grow industries, so that they could be vital and strong? And they did it cooperatively. They did it collaboratively. So I said, let's take the best of those ideas, the best of what was working, and let's bring it here and begin to develop a way in which we can work together to really grow and become strong and anti-fragile. What happens when businesses collaborate internally? This is what they found. 73% of the employees produce better work. Quality goes up. 73%. Think of that. When businesses have a collaboration strategy, they're 2 times more likely to outgrow their competitors. They're 2 times more likely to be profitable, 4 times more likely to see growth to the bottom line, 5 times more likely to experience increase in employment, and morale will increase by 30 to 50%. We're seeing today reports that burnout is increasing. It's not decreasing. Stress levels have gone up in the workplace. Morale, our employee situation, is going to be fundamental to our ability to grow. How do we do that? How do we think about it? How do we look at developing that in a systematic way so it works with us, not against us? So think of it. If this is the impact when you collaborate just within your organization, imagine what the impact would be if you take that and put 2, 3, 4 organizations together, working together to build each other's profitability, to build their customer base, their market reach. What will happen to their profitability? What will happen to their productivity? What will happen to the customer experience? Think of what can be created. Think of the results that it can bring to you and to your business. Collaboration is the secret weapon people are missing. We haven't been taught it, so we don't think of it. It's sort of like that thing you do when everything else has failed. It is your number one superpower. And if you're missing it, you're not going to be able to compete effectively. Our world has become too complex. You cannot do it alone anymore. So why aren't people using collaboration? If it's so important, why wouldn't everybody be doing it? Well, why? It's really not anybody's fault. Part of it is because no one has ever taught us the value of collaboration. Think of it. When did you ever have a course in your MBA program on the art of collaboration? We teach negotiation. We don't teach collaboration. It isn't part of what we think is important. We haven't valued it. If we don't value it, we don't put our attention to it. That's a good share of why it doesn't happen. It's a skill that needs to be learned. If we don't teach it, we don't develop it, we don't have that skill. The great news is it can be learned. Collaboration is something that can be learned. There's attitudes, there's mindset, there's skills, there's ways of doing business. It can be learned. So here are the 3 keys to collaboration. First, it's your mindset. You have to have an attitude, generosity, giving, receiving, giving and taking. There's a flow to it. Both are important, but sometimes we think we only give, we don't receive, right? That's very egotistical, but for many, that is a way in which they're brought out. Others, it's only, I'm going to receive. Give me, give me, give me, give me. I deserve it. You owe it to me. I've worked hard. It's time for you to help me. Collaboration is a give and take. A generous spirit. I give, I receive. It's a mindset of wanting to look broader, wider, seeing opportunities in new ways. It's not just, this is how I work. This is what's always worked. It's now getting a peripheral vision of something new and different. The old way, if we hold on to it tightly, that's where we're going to stay. Marshall Goldsmith has a wonderful book, and it's called What Got You Here Won't Get You There. And basically what he's saying is one of the things that gets leaders stuck is they hold on desperately to the things that have worked. So they move forward holding on to these things that have worked. But as they move forward, what they discover is they have to open their hands and let some of those things go and put new things in their hands that will carry them forward, because it's new skills, new capabilities that are going to be essential. We need to build strong teams. Number 2, build strong teams by building trust and loyalty. There was an article not too long ago on social media where a group of CEOs asked the question, where is loyalty? Well, I'm hearing that from employees. Where is my company loyal to me? We've seen the layoffs, right? Tremendous number of layoffs, already 93,000 so far in February 2023. That number is only going to grow. At least that is what is projected. When you're laying people off, it's hard to convince people that you're loyal to them. Because of some of these factors, we're told that only 26% of employees trust their leaders. 73% of people think that their companies and governments are corrupt. Those are worrisome statistics. Third key to collaboration is we need to learn how to grow faster and cheaper. We can't keep adding on costs. We've got to look at how do we do things more efficiently, in a smarter way? And how can we do it faster? Because The time to market is becoming shorter. So we've got to move faster if we're going to compete in a meaningful way. So we have reasons why we fear. We were maybe in an MBA program where we said, yeah, we did group work, but guess what? I did all the work for the group and they got the credit. So we have long laundry lists of why working together with people doesn't work. We fear failure. Well, what if it doesn't work? Well, let me ask you, what if what you're doing doesn't work and won't work in another 3 years? Fear of failure is surrounded by our fear of the unknown. What we don't put into that balancing equation is the fear of what I'm doing. That clock is running out and I won't be able to be in that sphere anymore. What will I do? So we focus on the future because it's unknown. We hold on desperately to what may run out, but at least it's still working today, but it doesn't carry us forward. We fear conflict. When we work with other people, there's conflict. One of the beautiful things that Lencioni talks about is how healthy conflict is. It allows us to debate and to struggle through issues and differences and come away with the best out of a session of discussion, of debate, argument. There's a healthy way of doing it. He calls it productive conflict. We need to learn these skills. How do we productively debate and have conflict so we can produce the best approach? We say we don't have time. Collaboration will take time. That's a myth. Collaboration will take time. The truth is, not collaborating takes time. When you're doing things in a solo way, you have only the time that you can put in. When you're doing things collaboratively, you have exponentially grown your time. You're working with somebody. You can divide, you can share, you can use their resources, their ideas, leverage what they're doing. Time grows when you work collaboratively. Another reason why we don't collaborate is we're just real confused. How do we start? What do we do? What's this all about? How can I be successful collaborating? Because I have more models of what doesn't work than does work. That's an important thing. We don't know how. And that's why we have this training and series of trainings. We want you to know how. This is important. We want our mid-sector of business, the backbone of our economy, to come out strong, anti-fragile, thriving, and a dominant force moving forward. So to succeed, what do you need to think about? How do you approach things so that you truly can succeed? Well, here are some principles that underline success. First, know your goal, know your outcomes. We get so busy, we kind of have a muddy mind of, yep, this is where I want to go. I want to be at 100 million in 3 years. Okay, how are you going to get there? What does that mean I have to do this year, 3 years, 1 year, 6 months, 3 months in order to get there? What action will I need to take at each step of the way? Be specific. Know the steps. So as you break down your 5-year to your 3-year to your 1 year to your 9 month, 6 month, 3 month, 1 month, each one of those have steps. What are the action steps you need to take? How will you know you accomplish them? So they need to be specific. They need to be measurable. You need to measure them, and then you need to communicate your success. That says you followed up, you explained to people what it is that's important. They know you care because you're following up and measuring and reporting. You're adjusting and adapting to what you learned. Because remember, we're a living, breathing organism. Things change. The environment changes. We're going to always be shifting and adjusting. Measuring allows us to do that. So let me ask you, what are your 5-year goals? Do you know them? Are they measurable? Are they clear? We're not clear enough often to ourselves and to our employees so they can make decisions. They can make little decisions, but little decisions add up and make an incredible impact on your result. To help you in the process, here's a tool. It is also on our website. You can download it. It will be downloadable. Also here in this webinar, just click on it at the end of this webinar and you'll be able to download it. We want to give you as many resources as we possibly can so that you can really do a great job of collaborating, great job of growing your business, a great job of thriving and being a strong contributor to our economy. So here's a chart that just simply says, here are my goals. Here's my 5-year goal. Here's my 3-year goal. Here's my 1-year goal, my 8th month, 3-month, 1 month. Write them down. Take it with you. I just take this, put it in my bag, take it with me, because when I'm going places, games for children, other things, you're sitting often waiting. Great time to just think, reflect, make changes, tweak, keep it in the front of your mind. This is what you're moving toward, is everything you're doing helping you move toward these goals. These resources are also in our forthcoming book. It will be coming out May 3rd. It's called Start with Collaboration, and it gives you information about how do you collaborate? How do you business to business collaborate? How do we collaborate internally within our organizations?
I'm so excited about being able to show you a process that works, that will help you build your team, scale your organization, hit your numbers, and do the things that are used by big companies. We can become strong. And that's what this is all about. This is the beginning. We have so much to offer you. We want you to become a great collaborator. So let me tell you about the 4-hour virtual summit. It's next. It helps you to unlock the power of collaboration. You'll learn the 3 things that you need to know in order to get ahead of your competition. You'll need to develop that collaborative mindset, and you'll learn the foundations of collaboration, understand how collaboration will change the trajectory of your business. It is the beginning. You want this because it will give you an understanding. Bring your team, bring people with you. And we have a real special offer right now. For those of you who sign up in the next 48 hours, we will give you an early bird special. We'll reduce the price from $497 to $197. And for all of you early birds, we'll give you a 1-hour free consultation with me. So it has great value to you, $795 value. If you sign up in the next 48 hours, it's only $197. You don't want to miss this. And we look forward to really helping you. We want you to build those foundation pieces that you absolutely need for your future. Bill helps you build out your collaborative ecosystem. It's the architecture. It's all the building pieces that go into developing your collaboration ecosystem. So you'll learn who makes a great collaborative partner. What are the characteristics of that partner? What are the essential steps? And develop your action plan. Remember, this is a working summit. You'll leave with an action plan, so come with the attitude. You're going to roll up your sleeves, you're going to go to work, and you're going to leave with something very constructive. Also, we'll bring this to some of your settings. If you would like us to do that and do it for your leadership team, you can let me know at lois@buildtomorrow.com and apply for this. We look forward to helping you. We have roundtables that will be meeting once a month to just talk about collaboration. We'll need you to sign up. Again, email me if you're interested in that, Lois@buildtomorrow.
So let me recap for a moment. There are many things that we've talked about, many things that are on the table. You can take the suggestions we've made about collaboration, the red pill, the green pill, the chicken, the red chicken, the green chicken. You can choose which one you want to be, what organization you want to be. You can grow your profitability, your market share, all of that, or you can leave it on the table and just continue the same old way. But remember, if the people around you are starting to grow and collaborate, you're going to be the one left in the dust. Success will come from your willingness to follow processes, and you'll need to follow them systematically, religiously. Results come from systematic processes. I want to show you a process that works, and so you'll find that following this, There's an opportunity to sign up for a more extensive workshop, a 4-hour virtual event that will go into much more detail on some of the basics of collaboration. We want you to learn these tools. We want to expose you. We want to teach you. We want to help you grow in this area as much as possible. And then we also have 3-day collaboration ecosystem summits where we come together and work. It's a working session live to really develop and grow what it is that you are wanting to grow and do in your business so you can be much more effective, so you will thrive going into the future. In these summits, what we'll show you is a way to build your team, to build your organization, to scale your organization, to hit your numbers. These processes are used by many of the biggest companies. And if you're going to compete, you're going to need to use their same tools and even more. You are better at collaborating and creating a collaborative system often than the big players. You can compete in a way that you've never competed before if you learn how to collaborate. So now is the time to stop worrying about all the things that keep you up at night. We spend a lot of waking hours in the middle of the night when we should be recovering our bodies and getting rested and ready for the next day worrying. Not a healthy response. It's not a productive response, but we do it. And it's time for us to look at how do we really grow our business, have the cash, the money that we need for growth and development, the resources, the network, the strength that we need in order to become more and more competitive. We need to know how to manage our stress and overwhelm. We can do that as we become more collaborative. We don't need to burn the hours that we've burned working unproductively when we come together in a collaborative system. Now we've got a broader network. We've got resources. We've got people to go to. We have ways of looking within our organization to make sure that we're growing so we can keep up with the others that we're partnering with in collaboration. As you grow in your partnership, your companies are also going to be changing and growing. None of this is easy. Growth requires change. And if you're willing to go through the change process, embrace it, and let it stretch you, you become anti-fragile. We want you to learn this because it is going to be a determining factor in your ability to survive, but more than that, to become healthy, strong, and thrive. We need thriving companies moving into the next decade. Unfortunately, the statistics tell us that most businesses aren't going to make it, not for 10 years. There's a lot of fear and anxiety surrounding that. That's what CEOs are telling us right now. You don't want to be a part of that statistic. We don't want you to be a part of that statistics. Sign up, join us, let us help you. Let us help you grow. Let us help you move forward into that next decade, into the next area in which we are moving as businesses.